My father-in-law offered me $50,000 to divorce his daughter. My father-in-law slid a check across the table, $50,000, and told me to disappear from his daughter's life. Not a joke, not a threat. A transaction. And I didn't tear it up. I signed it. 3 months later, he was the one begging me to undo it. This is how it happened. The envelope was already on the table when I walked in. Thick, cream-colored, the kind of envelope people use when they don't want anything about the situation to feel cheap. Richard Hale didn't stand up when I entered his office. He just glanced at me over his glasses like I was late, even though I wasn't. "Sit down, Daniel." I pulled the chair back slowly. The room smelled like leather and old money. Mahogany desk, bookshelves filled with titles no one actually reads. Everything about the place said control, power, and a man who believed he could buy outcomes. "You know why you're here?" he asked. I didn't answer, because I did, but I wanted to hear him say it. He tapped the envelope. "Open it." I stared at it for a moment, then slid it toward me. Inside, a check, $50,000. Signed. Ready. I looked up. "What is this?" He leaned back in his chair, folding his hands. "A solution." "To what?" "To my daughter's mistake." The words were calm, measured, like he'd practiced them. I felt something tighten in my chest. "Your daughter is my wife." "For now," he said. That landed heavier than it should have. Emily and I had been married 6 years. We weren't perfect. No one is. But we were real. Built from late-night conversations. Shared struggles, small victories. I worked construction management. Long days. Early mornings. Hands still rough from the years before I moved into supervising. Emily worked part-time at a local clinic. We weren't rich, but we were steady. And that was enough for us. Not for him. It never was. From day one, Richard made it clear I wasn't what he wanted. Not successful enough. Not connected enough. Not him enough. And now, he was done pretending. "I'm not going to insult you," he continued. "You already did," I said quietly. He ignored that. $50,000, you walk away. Clean break, no drama. "No." He didn't react. Just tilted his head slightly. "Think about it before you answer." "I already did. You don't even know the terms." "I don't need to." He sighed. "You're emotional." "No," I said, "I'm married." That's when he leaned forward, and everything about his tone changed. "Let me make something very clear," he said. "My daughter has a future, a real one, and you're standing in the way of it." I felt my jaw tighten. She chose me. She made a mistake. Silence stretched between us. Then he pushed the check closer. "Take it." And that's when something inside me shifted. Not anger, not pride. Something colder, smarter. "What happens if I say yes?" I asked. For the first time. He smiled. "Then we handle this like adults." I picked up the check, folded it, and put it in my pocket. "Okay," I said. "I'll do it." Emily found out that night. She was standing in the kitchen when I walked in. "You met my dad?" "Yeah." Her eyes searched mine. "What did he want?" I set my keys down slowly. "He offered me money." Her face changed instantly. "What?" "To divorce you." Silence. Then, "What did you say?" I looked at her. I said yes. The words hit like a gunshot. Her breath caught. "You're joking." "I'm not." Her voice broke. "You took his money." I accepted the offer. She stepped back like I just hit her. "You're leaving me for $50,000. I didn't answer, because I couldn't explain it yet. Not like this. Not while she was looking at me like that. "Say something," she shouted. "It's done," I said quietly. The divorce process moved fast. Too fast. Lawyers, papers, signatures. Emily barely spoke to me. When she did, it was cold. Controlled. Like she was holding herself together by force. "You sold us," she said once. I didn't respond. Because if I did, the plan would fall apart. What Richard didn't know was that I recorded everything. The meeting, the offer, every word, perfectly clear. In my state, that was legal. One-party consent. And I was the party. But that wasn't the real move. The real move came later, when I met with my lawyer. "Let me get this straight," she said, listening to the recording. "He offered you money to end a legally binding marriage." "Yes." "And you accepted." "Yes." She leaned back slowly. "Do you know what this is?" "I have an idea. This is coercion, financial interference, possibly fraud depending on how it's structured." I nodded. "That's what I thought." She smiled slightly. "You didn't take the money because you wanted it." "No." "Then why?" I looked at her. "Because he thinks everything can be bought, and you want to prove it can't." "Exactly." We built the case quietly, carefully, every document, every transaction, the check, the timing of the divorce, the recording, everything lined up. Then came the final piece. Emily. I met her outside the courthouse. 2 weeks after the divorce was finalized. She almost didn't stop when she saw me. "Emily," I called out. She froze, slowly turned. "What?" "I need you to listen to something. I don't want to hear anything you have to say. Just 2 minutes." She hesitated. Then, "Fine." I played the recording. Her father's voice filled the space. "Cold, controlled, transactional, $50,000, you walk away." I watched her face as it changed. Confusion, shock, then something deeper, something breaking. You planned this," she whispered. "I needed proof," I said. "Proof of what?" "That he doesn't respect you," I said quietly. "That he thinks your life is his to control." Tears filled her eyes. "You divorced me for this." "No," I said. "I divorced him." We confronted Richard together. Same office, same desk, same chair, but everything felt different. He looked up as we walked in. Surprised. "Emily." She didn't speak. She just looked at me. I nodded, then placed the recording device on his desk. Pressed play. He didn't interrupt, didn't react, until the end. Then, that was taken out of context. I almost smiled. "No," I said calmly. "It wasn't." He leaned back. "You think this changes anything?" Emily stepped forward. "It changes everything." He looked at her. "You're being emotional." "No," she said. "I'm being clear." I slid a folder across the desk. "What's this?" he asked. "A lawsuit." His eyes flicked up. "For what?" "Tortious interference, coercion, financial damages." Silence. Heavy. Real. "You're serious," he said. "Very." For the first time, Richard Hale looked uncertain. Weeks later, he settled, quietly, out of court. The number was much higher than 50,000. Emily and I didn't get remarried immediately. We took time, rebuilt, slowly, carefully, because trust doesn't come back overnight. But one night, months later, she looked at me and said, "You didn't sell us." I shook my head. "No, you proved something." "What?" She smiled softly. "That not everything has a price. And somewhere out there, a man who thought he could buy anything finally learned what it feels like to lose control." Tell me in the comments how you would have handled it.